Welcome a special guest today and something that I think is going to help you get more sales and get more prominent and set yourself apart from other people. So you guys might have seen the Better Business Bureau, of course, and other, validations, Angie's List, et cetera, when you get your credentials. But there's been one out there that came across my side and I noticed a lot of marketing and I noticed a lot of stuff popping up. And it was called the Good Contractors List, which is a great name because it just shows up right away. I welcomed Randy here, and I'm going to bring on Randy Hurtado, and we're going to introduce him, find out how this started, what his role is, and what the goal for the Good Contractors List is. So, Randy, welcome. Thanks for joining, and if you could share with me a little background about you, tell me about you.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So I originally started with the Good Contractor. Oh, let me start with what the Good Contractors List is. They were founded in 2011 in the DFW market to address the problem of bad contractors taking advantage of homeowners. And our founder knew that there had to be a way to bring together a safe community of contractors that homeowners can go into confidently and not have to worry about being screwed, because pretty much their only recourse is small claims court or sue them or whatever. And it's just, there had to be a better way. And so our founder decided that he was going to come up with a series of criteria, which has obviously molded over the it's melded over the years to be a little tighter, but a series of criteria that contractors have to meet. And this actually covers all trades, all 50 trades, where if they meet those requirements, then the company would back every single job that they do with a financial guarantee. So at the time when the company started in 11, it was a $10,000 guarantee, but obviously hashtag inflation, we are now a $25,000 guarantee on every single job that our contractors do. And that has now been 15 years. It's been worked out very well in the DFW area, and they've backed more than $5 billion worth of jobs with our contractors since we started. And what it does for the contractor is we already know what it does for the homeowner. It helps them connect with good contractors that aren't going to rip them off, and for the contractor, it helps them build instant credibility with their homeowners, instant trust where they otherwise didn't have. Many contractors go into those tabletop conversations with, well, these are our certifications, and this is how long we've been in business, and this is how many 5-star reviews we have, but they sound like every other contractor the homeowners talk to. And when they mention that they're members of the Good Contractors List, and that organization validates and vets our company to make sure that we're everything we say we are, and that we're going to do everything that this contract that we're trying to close out says it's going to do, and so much so that they back every job we do with a $25,000 guarantee, that changes the cadence of the conversation with the homeowner, because suddenly there's something different about that. They've always been bombarded with, we've got this A+ rating with a Better Business Bureau or something. And that's fine. That does show some sort of vetting, but there's no guarantee that they will
Yeah.
still.
Now, you guys have been around for 15 years. You do a $25,000 guarantee currently. And I guess there's two sides of this. Like, I want to talk to you about both sides. One's going to be for the homeowner, like
Mhm.
why they care, and the other one's going to be for the contractor, why they should maybe be involved, right? Because there's two
Yeah.
sides. And I think most important is the end user. To me, the end user is the homeowner. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. For the homeowner, what is the reason? What did you see as a problem for the homeowner, and why did the Good Contractor List come by?
Well, whether it's through voters just want to feel the comfort of knowing that if this company in front of me doesn't do exactly what they said they're going to do, then I have somebody else that I can call, get them involved. And if they don't, and they still can't get this done correctly, then they'll get somebody else to come out and make it right. So they don't have to go through the whole litigation process. We even have states that have bonds in place, like California. They have a $25,000 bond that every contractor has to have. If they have to activate that bond, it's a legal
Yep.
process. It's not just, call up the state and they send you your money. And
Yep.
with us, you get us involved. We're the voice of truth, so we're going to look and see who's wrong in this situation or right, and then we're going to take action. And so, from the
Okay.
homeowner's perspective, it costs them nothing. They just have to choose the right
All
guy.
right. So the homeowner is getting, they're getting the vetted person, like right here looking at your website. I'm being vetted for your business. I'm getting this $25,000 piece of mind. There's a resolution process that you guys have done, mediation or what have you. You guys get
Mhm.
involved, and since you're controlling the money, you have the idea of like what you're going to do and how you're going to restore that. And I take it you're going to, obviously being contractors, I take it you're going to put in resolutions that maybe they can solve this. But if it doesn't
Yep.
solve, then
Most of
um,
the
I,
time in our experience, most of the time has been communication. It's been,
yep,
I signed a contract on Monday with somebody. They said they'd be out Tuesday morning, and now it's Tuesday afternoon. I haven't heard from anybody. I can't, we'll get that call. And so when we reach out to the contractor and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, no, our guy was on his way to their house Tuesday morning and his truck blew up on the freeway.
yep,
The engine grenaded, and we were so focused on mitigating making sure his safety was, in place, and getting the vehicle towed off the road. Someone forgot to call the customer. I'm so sorry. Let me go ahead and get a call in. So it's not that, because people naturally just want to go to that. Oh my gosh, he took my money and he ran off. And it turns out it was just he was a human being and he made a mistake. And so
yeah,
we
it
become that
happens. I
voice
mean,
of reason. Yeah.
yeah. What about I see here. So let's just say I'm a homeowner. I come across your site. I see here register and get the 25,000 guarantee.
Hmm.
What happens if I fill this out and I haven't picked a contract? Do you connect me with someone? What happens?
So where you connect up, where that form is, right, that form you have in front of you is after they've already chosen a contractor and they just want
Okay,
to register their job
register the
for
warranty.
that
Got it.
25. Yeah, because we don't charge the contractor anything above their single fixed fee every month to
Hmm.
register jobs. But they do have to register the job because we have to connect that job with that homeowner so that if the homeowner calls us, we know who they are. Mrs. Smith calls and says, I hired, such and such plumbing. Well, if I don't have that in my records as a registered job, then how do I know that that's the case? So they have to, but in order to find a contractor, if you go back to the homepage, actually you're there. So you're right
Yeah,
there,
right
right where
here.
you're at, or on the homepage right there in the
Yep.
yellow. You put in the trade type that you need.
Yeah, so I put in
So
that and I put
you
in
put in your zip
Dallas.
code. Yeah, you put in your zip code. And actually probably an upgrade that you just mentioned. The reason why we don't just put in straight city names is because Dallas, for example, has, you know, 40
Yeah,
different zip codes, and
exactly.
I want one in my specific area. And so you put your zip code in, it shows you the contractors for that particular
The company's
system.
getting good reputation. They're getting good backlinks. So this is my marketing side of the brain where I'm like,
Yep.
okay, if I'm performance painting, I'm getting mentioned somewhere else. I'm getting more validation. I'm getting a custom page for me, if you would, and
Hmm.
it's backlinking to me, which is going to create a little bit better for me, like you know, more SEO, if you would.
That's
And you have a guarantee. The other thing I notice here, you're not just roofing, because I know there's a few
oh no.
competitors out there that I've seen that are just roofing or insurance. This
Hmm.
is like I mean, blinds and windows. I mean, that's
Right.
just drainage. I mean, this is not roofing. And my audience happens to be roofing, but this is anything. It's like GC, like whatever.
That's right. And where it benefits even the roofer in your audience is when a homeowner is using the Good Contractors List to find their contractors, when that electrician that they hired off the list, when the customer registers their job, now they've been exposed to the Good Contractors List. So in the future, when they do need roofing, where do you think they're going to come? They're going to come here because it worked out so well last time. Let me find my roofer on here as well. And the homeowners are just, they can literally just put a blindfold on and select a contractor, and they know that if they don't do everything that they're supposed to do, that they
Yeah, and if I wanted to get three bids, I can just go in here and figure out which
that's
three
it.
match me, and I could literally, in most cases, I mean, some places you only have one contract, but like for roofing, for
Yep.
example, there's a lot in here. Is
Hmm.
there any kind of bias to who's on top, who's on bottom? Is there some
So
reason this one's on top?
yep. So roof time is on top because based on the zip that you put in, they are the
Hmm?
closest contractor to that zip code. It shows you what all contractors for that particular trade within 50 miles of that zip code. And so in some cases throughout the nation, there may only be one roofer right now because of course we only decided to go nationwide about 150 days ago.
Yep.
Prior to that, we were a DFW based solution. Now we're in 25 new states.
Going back to this, I guess so for the homeowner, they're going to get the extra security, this 25,000, this third party, like open mediation, what have you, helping them do that. Now, for a roofing contractor, I already know it's like I'm going to get backlinks. I'm going to be shown on your list, so you're advertising for me in a way. And I did notice when I was in DFW, I did notice like the good contractor was popping up on my phone everywhere I went, you know. And I'm in the
Mhm.
roofing industry for a long time. Most of my 5,000 list is roofing people, right?
Right.
And I've seen other stuff not pop up from other organizations, but I did notice that yours, it was popping up quite a bit a few
Hmm.
weeks back.
Yep.
It did slow down, to be honest, but it was popping up quite a bit. And I was like, oh, what's this about? I noticed that your $25,000 guarantee. So what's my cost as a contractor? Okay, let's start with the beginning. To register with you, what do I have to do?
And then once you fill that out, that goes directly to our national sales team, and they will reach out to you to have a quick call with you to go over what benefits you have, everything. And then if you're ready to move forward, we send you out a contract that you fill out some specific data. We run the background check, which is a very detailed background check. It's not only criminal, but it's also financial from a standpoint of, is this somebody who is going to has a track record of starting businesses and running them into the ground with a wake of customers behind them, or not. We're not looking at your bank account specifically, but we are looking to make sure that you're not a financial risk. Once you fit the criteria, then outside of the DFW market, it costs $250 a month to be on the Good Contractors List, and that covers backing 100% of every single job that you do. There is a clear delineation between us and some competitors out there. You'll have other competitors that will charge a monthly rate, fixed rate, but then they'll also charge you a percentage of the job in order to get the job covered.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I've seen percentages and fees.
their guarantee just covers theft of deposit. And so that's fine as long as the contractors know that. Unfortunately, far too many times I come across contractors, or my team will, where they're like, "Oh, I already have that other, and we'll remind them, like, you realize that's only theft of deposit, right? You're telling the homeowner that
Right.
you're covering their."
It looks like you guys built out, like you started the Apple show, you built like in DFW, which is a huge market.
Mhm.
My guy in San Antonio was looking at your stuff, and then
Right.
I had seen it, and I was like, "Hey, let's check this out." And we got on a call, and spoke to, I believe it was your son. And we
Hmm.
spoke to someone, got to understand the business a little bit. It was pretty interesting. And what I noticed is you also have some affiliations. We'll get into that later, but you were able to. You're going to screen the contract. You go through that process, and my bill, and this was struck me, and I had to ask like 3 times. So I'm going to ask it again for the people. And remember the markets. There's like prime markets versus like the starting market. So like
Right.
San Antonio, for example, if I come in, what am
Mhm.
I paying you per month right now?
Everyone outside of DFW is paying 250 a month,
Two
and
fifty a
for
month.
those for 250 a month, your rate is locked in for life. So what
Mhm.
that means is you will never pay more than 250.
That's awesome.
Now in DFW, it's not uncommon for, say, the roofing category to pay anywhere between $500 and $1,100 a month, and they're perfectly
Right.
fine doing that because they've been on the list long enough. We have contractors that have been on the list since inception,
Yep.
15 years, and our attrition rate, people who leave the list, under 2%. So
Oh,
you
very
could
cool.
see that they're utilizing this to close more business, and they don't have a problem paying the higher rate. Now, why are they paying a higher rate? Because in their area, so the
Well, this
contract.
is, I mean, the BBB is something that tells you, oh, hey, we say they're good. Now, the BBB, the problem is, look, and I know there's different stories, but at the end of the day, I know you could pay your way to the top there. Like that's just been my
Mhm.
experience from real. Like when I had a roofing company, I know we had a company in Illinois, and we were legit there. We moved down to Oklahoma. We were brand new, and it was just a simple conversation, a little bit of salesmanship, and 1,100 hours later, and I was A+ accredited for 5 years in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And that was something that I found straight. I mean, of course, I'm on this side of it. I'm going to take that
Right.
advantage. I'm not going to BS you. I took advantage of it. On the
Mhm.
other side, it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. What's the validity of this? Like, what
Right.
the heck? And then,
Well, that's one of the benefits of our program is you can't. It's not a pay to play. We have
mhm,
contractors all the time. In fact, more than they then do make the list that don't fit our criteria. And but we have our criteria for a reason, and so it has to fit the
now,
criteria. And
now I notice here you don't have a bad contractor list. You just remove them. Do you have like a don't go blacklist, whatever? You're
yeah.
just, you're just
Now,
a good choice.
we don't explicitly say it, but it's through our actions. Is
To be
some
on
people
here,
off
and
those.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, Boston Solutions or UGO or whatever is back of that. You just have their good company, or hey, they don't
That's
exist as
it.
far as we're concerned.
If they're not on the list, they either haven't tried or they haven't fit our criteria. And our criteria could mean that they have far too many bad reviews. They have they owe so much money to their distributors and they're behind, and there's all this chatter online about that stuff. We don't want those contractors on the list,
Yeah. Well, the good thing
because
to me
a
is
good
like
contractor pays his bills.
yeah, a good thing to me is like you're either a good contractor or you're not, right? It's kind of very simple. Like if I'm researching and I have to look at BBB reviews and I notice you have whatever, you have 12 bad reviews, right? But then I notice you have an A rating. Now I have to go through your 70 reviews and look at like what happened, what was the story, and shit that I really don't as a homeowner. I just kind of want to know like who's good, and that's why I love the name the Good Contractors. And it's just so simple. It's like, okay, the Good Contractors. And it's like, okay, I just know who's good. I don't have to worry. They know the metrics behind it. I'm not looking at it. I look for the seal and I'm kind of set. That's kind of what I'm looking at with that.
Right.
So for a contractor, once I get registered and I pass the screening process, I notice how we had these sites over here. If I'm doing a site,
So generally within about 48 hours of you getting us everything that we need for for the our requirements, we start the process of building out your profile, which is what you click on when you click on any of their and their names,
yep,
and then we announce you on all of our socials, letting you share that with your socials. The contractors that are the most successful with this program are the ones that not only use it for closing more business, which is the number one way that the contractors are successful using it, but also what I like to say is they make it part of their DNA.
yep,
They talk about it early and often with with their customers, their prospects. They're talking about it on their social media posts, not just, maybe twice a month, maybe doing a specific post about them being a member of the Good Contractors List and the guarantee. But then I'd even say, like, as you know, I own my own roofing company, so it's not uncommon for me to shoot a video about some specific thing or offer, and then just say and end it with, and remember, at DT Roofing, we're members of the Good Contractors List, so every single job we do is backed by their $25,000 guarantee. Because what I'm doing is I'm constantly reminding my potential customer, when and if you need our solutions, we're the guy. We're the ones that form the least amount of risk to you. And if we're doing everything else correctly with our reputation and what have you, we're the natural choice. Um, my guy, I like to joke that my guys would lynch me in the town square if I took us off the list, because they use it so much for
well, it's a selling
closing
tool. I would use.
business.
I was in San Antonio helping a contractor, and I was doing sales myself, and it was a lot of different things. So one of those things was having that third party validation, whether it's IKO Roof Pro or whatever it's called.
Yep.
Owens. But to be honest, I don't care for that one. But I like the Owens Corning. Like, why are we this? Why are we a shingle master? Would you have? Why are we a good contractor? What can I give you? I'm going to give you a $25,000 guarantee that if I do something wrong, you have this third party
Yep.
who's going to intervene and you have this going on. So I love that and being able to actually validate it or what have you, because I noticed that a lot of guys don't have anything like that to validate them or what have you. So that's good. So getting started, I do that 48 hours, 72 hours. I'm kind of live. I have that
Hmm.
stuff and I'm able to go in. Grandfathered in new communities, 250. Are you now in 50 states or are you where?
To make sure that the contractor has the literature that we provide them, because we don't just give them digital assets to put on their website and point back to their profile and what have you, but we also give them physical assets as well that they can make as part of their sales deck, so that when they're in front of the homeowner, they're forced to talk about it, because
Yep.
they don't our contractors that are successful with this, which are a majority of them, they understand that you have to educate the customer. Like you said a moment ago, they don't know that you're platinum with Owens Corning and what that means unless you explain it to them. And so
Yep.
just getting on the Good Contractors List and then just sitting back and waiting for the money to start coming in, it's like going down to Home Depot, buying a hammer, and then coming to the house and putting it in the garage and then wondering why the hammer didn't provide any value for you. Like, you got to
Yep.
use it. It's a tool. But if you use the tool well, I personally, the reason why I'm even here as the COO of the company and why I was so passionate about taking it nationwide was because I was a customer first. I've been a customer since 2019. Three of my companies are listed on the Good Contractors List. I know the customers, the change of the way that they act when we mention that. It's like giving them insurance for the success of the job, and they didn't have to pay for it. They love it.
Yep.
They eat it up. And so that's essentially what we're doing here
I was
with that
looking
guarantee.
and I noticed, so we have a couple posts like an hour ago, it looks like here, yesterday. So you guys are putting up some posts or what have you. And I looked at your online stuff and I guess you guys have a multi-front war where you're trying to get contractors in and you're also trying to bring in homeowners to understand the value, right? And you have to speak in two tones, which a lot of brands do on their service like yours. They have
Mhm.
to speak to the homeowner. They also have to speak to the contractor. why to join. So one of the things I did with our tool, UGO, so as it's going through and doing something back here, I scanned through and I was looking through some things. And this is something that we kind of like to look at. The website, this just takes like literally like a minute. I scanned you already, but the Good Contractor List positions itself as a voice of truth in the home service industry, acting as a strategic bridge between homeowners and vetted professionals. Their identity is rooted in eliminating the gamble of hiring contractors through rigorous by serving as a mediator and providing safety net. The brand ensures accountability, quality craftsmanship, and you distinguish yourself as a protector of the homeowner's peace of mind. Is that pretty much you
I
guys? I
would
mean,
say that that is us in a nutshell. There's if you had to give the elevator pitch, that's it.
yeah. And I looked at the logo. I love how simple but yet easy it is. It's just the Good
Yep.
Contractors. I mean, look, if I'm Googling, there's that take advantage of Google words. I'm gonna say Good Contractors. Now, what I
Yep.
also notice, if you notice here, these are markets that UGO scanned and said that this is where you're presenting. And I'll share this with you later. I know it's a big scan, but like Norman, San
Hmm.
Angelo,
Yep.
Sandy, I don't even know where some of these places are, right?
Right.
But that's what it's picking up off your website, what it speaks. And later on, one thing to look at is what it speaks and where you're going, because Lee Summit's in here, Hagerstown's in here. You got your
Hmm.
brand colors. What it does is it talks about brand values, your integrity, your quality, professionalism, accountability, honesty, craftsmanship, transparency. That's what you stand for, according to
Right.
what a lot of people forget. Like, we can do anything. And I've done this before. I've launched business and I'm like, dude, my business is so awesome. Why is someone not using it? Like,
Right.
because I didn't get the message out clearly, right?
That's
And
right.
you've done a good job getting clarity.
Here I am. What do I need to do to get on the list? You know,
No.
and so that's smart because in that particular case, now that company's listed, they can use that as a differentiator between them and others.
Well, what I use here, I mean, you go again, a part of our marketing side that we do, and kind of like part of the interview and kind of showing the tool off a little bit too. It looks like from what I see from the website, like stressful home improvement projects, like your pain points that you're addressing, right? Finding trustworthy and reliable contractors, we cover that. Hiring contractors feels like a gamble. We talked about they should be on your list. Contractors stopping work or ghosting mid-project.
Hmm.
Being left with gutted kitchens from that would be horrible. Interiors are so much more dangerous than exteriors, to be honest. It's such a intrusion of space, and
Yes.
it just you got grandma, you got the kids, you got the pet, you got it's just definitely interiors is just something that people are really scared to let people in. So it's nice to
Yep.
have that. Fear of losing investment, navigating resolutions. Your offers, it kind of talks about that. It has your slogan, at least it says your home, your peace of mind, backed by your 25,000 guarantee. This is your target audience. And now you have two target audiences, which is kind of interesting. Homeowners across the nation looking for reliable home service professionals, ranging from small repairs to large renovations, right?
But yep. So our comeback to that is the truth, which is in the 15 years that we've been doing this, we have never paid more than $25,000 on any of the claims that we have had come through because, and that includes with contractors that are remodelers, that are doing over $300,000 projects and what have you, because when something does go wrong, one, the contractor has to first say, I'm not fixing it, right? And
Yep.
most good contractors don't do that. But
Yep.
in the cases where they do that, or maybe they get into a financial pinch. Dad joined the list 10 years ago, and now son is running the business, and son sucks at running businesses, right? And
Yep.
so he screws up a job, can't afford to fix it. Well, unfortunately, that's what we learned from them. So we say, well, we've got to kick you off the list because a good contractor financially can handle a rainy day where something goes wrong and they have to be able to make it right. So we kick them off the list and then we fix the aspect of the job that's wrong. Like the customer maybe
Or
hired
you're
them
not
to,
in full 300. You might be 10 deep into some stage or whatever. So
or
it's
even if
kind
it's
of
the
like
full 300 done, but the customer's like, I actually love my kitchen remodel.
you take, so if I was registered with you and somebody did that tile grout example, for example, are you sending me over that?
Both. So it depends on the accessibility of the job. Like if it's within our driving range, then we'll just we pay them for that. We don't just ask them to work for us.
Yeah.
And they're also the professionals. Like I'm going to have a flooring guy go out there and tell me your honest truth. Is it good work or not?
Yeah.
Is it valid?
Yeah.
And then we'll likely use them to do the repair. So
Yeah, I used to do quite a bit of what do you call it? So Home Life Furniture in Illinois, in Springfield Mall, Huntley. They had an issue, and I used to build Starbucks for them. So I was building Starbucks for this company. They had a Home Life. They asked me, "Hey, Latif, would you please drive down there and take a look? We have some issues." I was like, "All right, let me go out there." And I went out there, and they paid me for my assessment. I just went
Yeah.
in and I said, okay, what are the problems? I walked around with the managers of the building. And one of the things was the walls. They painted the walls. It was like this deep, deep blue,
Hmm.
on some of these walls. And then they went back and touched up. Now you can't really touch up some of these high pigment colors. You pretty much got
Right.
to roll the whole wall, right?
Right.
I believe they were semi
Yeah.
gloss. It was impossible to touch it up. You just can't. So I was like, okay, this is
Yep.
a very rookie move to go touch up.
That's right.
But whoever ran the job should not have installed the letters, in the manner where they're going to damage the wall. They should have covered it, done the letters, or done the letters first, left the letters covered, and then paint whatever. We talked about some options.
Right.
And the wood floor, they went with a residential floor, right? So
Hmm.
instead of buying a commercial grade floor, they bought this residential floor. And these residential floors, they use the residential glue that's recommended for the floor. So it's a water-based solvent, right? A water-based
Yeah.
adhesive. And when they applied it over concrete.
No.
Well,
Concrete
well,
leaks. You got to put a
concrete,
water barrier. Yeah.
water, we
Yeah.
got some issues. So now this stuff was oozing through. Like you could as you walked, the glue was oozing through these sealed lines, like button lines, and it
Yep.
was oozing everywhere. And it actually had a little sponge going on. And they're like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Wow!" And we went through the thing. They paid me for the assessment. Once we were done with that and a few other problems, those were the two major ones. I gave them a proposal to go do a repair, and I said, "Look, here's a right way to do it. Bring in a commercial
Right.
floor, repaint all the walls. Then here's the you could get by with this way, right?
Right.
And then there's whatever someone else suggested to them for a cheap way. And this is a big contract, home life furniture, right? So I ended up repainting all the walls. They wanted to stick to the managers were dead set on that residential floor. So we were pulling this stuff up section by section, cleaning off, removing glue, applying
Wow.
sealers and barriers, and going
Hmm.
back with like a hybrid glue that was a little different. That wasn't really meant
Right.
for the floor, but it was a different method. Yeah, we did this. We started doing it spots because that's what they wanted, and I told them it's not going to work. But we were chasing a problem. It was just chase, 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 chase. Then it was like, look, guys,
Right.
I'd rather just strip the whole thing and do it, and we'll lose a little bit of flooring. We probably lost 15% of flooring and damage. Everything else was retained, and we put it back, and we were able to solve it. But that ended up creating for me. I mean, I don't remember, but like probably I probably profited 40, 50K on just doing that job. So it's great to have that referral.
Yep.
Bad thing is though, when you follow someone up, you kind of buy their problems, and
Hmm.
you have to be super strict about how you fix it. You can't do the,
Yep.
well,
Well,
you
it's
get
all
away
in the
with this.
it's all in the contract too, and oftentimes we'll have contractors that are vetting us saying, "Well, in the case of a claim, what's your criteria for it being our fault or theirs?" And we do initial stuff. Well, we look at the picture like, well, she must have taken like the really good pictures because nothing's wrong with this. This looks great, cut in everywhere, looking really good. So we reached out to her like, ma'am, the photos you sent us, they actually look like a stellar job. Well, I don't like the color. Oh, you don't like the color? Okay, hold on. Let me look at the contract. All right, so it looks like about third way down, it says Sherwin-Williams SW 3249. And is that your initial? Yeah. Okay. So it looks like the paint cans say the same code number. So are you saying that that the paint didn't, paint cans didn't have the same paint that oh, no, no, that's the color I chose. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this has nothing to do with the contractor then. You chose the color and they put it up. Whether you put pink and hot fuchsia, that's what they would have put up. And that's
Yep.
what you hired them to do. So there's no claim here. In fact, be really nice to them because maybe they'll give you a real competitive rate to paint it the color you do like it, but there's no claim here. They've done
Yeah.
what they're supposed to do.
And then most of the things get mediated. I mean, what percentage of claims end up being in a loss, like where you do have to pay out? Not
Uh,
25,000, it might be 2,000, might be 25,000, but
right.
what percentage of?
The percentage of $5 billion of jobs that we backed is 0.00004%.
Very cool. Yeah. So this is like me paying the $250 or maybe $500 or maybe $1,100 depending on my market. The value to me is I can sell this thing and use it as validating myself. Get that little badge on my website. Get that badge on my truck. Get that badge on my whatever my literature. You're sending some material as well, and I'm able to get that stuff out there. So that's kind of cool. I like that a lot. Now, one of the things that we were doing here, looking at your brand and just looking at stuff that I noticed that you don't have a lot of testimonials on the website. That would be great to see more of those from your contractors and your homeowners. There is some, but there's not a lot.
Hmm.
So we want to extract those. Also, just the way websites are built. Sometimes things get picked up. Sometimes they don't.
Hmm.
I could do a deep scan later and see what we have. But we pulled this stuff up, and then what I ended up grabbing was right here. Just as we were speaking, I was like, okay, so good contractor, they're busy, they got to do their stuff. They're going to spend $2,000 for marketing, and that's what we charge, for example, right? So what do they want to do? They want to get their message out, and they want to get their message out daily. If I go to Instagram here, I noticed this post was 5 weeks ago.
Mhm.
I noticed this post was 3 hours ago, right? So that one's probably pinned. That was 3 days ago. So this isn't horrible. You got one day ago, you got 3 days ago. So it's not horrible, but you got some stuff. The branding's coming along a little bit. Hey, what's a message we want to put out? What style? And we go in and we say, okay, do we like real life? Do we like cartoon, 3D, cinematic? This is like more of a training that we do. So I
Mhm.
can generate you an entire month of content in about 20 minutes, right? Nice. Anything you like? Which one would you like the most out of these?
I think that first one at the top left is probably more consistent with our current branding style
Mhm. And you
for
don't have to pick
people.
three, but
Yeah.
let me know if you like
Yeah,
two more.
that middle one, that top middle one is good, and also the sixth one, second row, right, forward, right, yeah. Hmm.
Because you are, yeah, for any business. I mean, this is for any business. I don't care what we're sending, is people have to find us. And you have a great name, the Good Contractors List. You're going to get found. But here's some trending topics that it's suggesting for people to maybe have articles about, right? Now,
Hmm.
you have to be the educator. And I noticed that you guys do have a blog section. I was actually talking about one of the blogs that I was looking for. But where can I find the blog section? It's a little difficult from the menu, but down here, I think.
Yep,
There it
right there.
is.
Hmm.
And you do have a blog section, the Good Contractor List versus Directory, national client success, flooring materials, how to choose the right remodel, et cetera, right? So
Yep.
you have these ideas. So I'm gonna actually, just to, for shits and giggles, I'm gonna steal this topic, right? I'm gonna steal the topic that you wrote. So here's your blog. And blogs are all about keywords. And one of the things that I want to let everyone know with AI, I'm not going to Google so much. I'm going to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, so it's giving me some topics that maybe I want to look at. Like, for example, what to do if your contractor ghosts you, right? So if I press that, it's going to go ahead and just start writing a blog. Another thing I'm able to do, I'm just going to wait for that to kick in. There we go, it kicked in. And I'm going to go here. I can also go into current topic and I can just put in this title. I'm not going to put anything else. I'm just going to select topic. And now we got two blogs being made, right? So while we're speaking, I want to show you the power of UGO for a brand is that you can do other things. You can go promote your brand. You can go do your accounting. You can do your sales. You can do other things. And look, Bums AI, my marketing company, my marketing company that does websites, AI voice, et cetera, used to do a lot more social media, this and that. We dropped a lot of that. That was $2,000 worth of in revenue. I figured out how to do it for 99 bucks. And I'm like, hey, no. So as I go through this, here's some ideas that it's giving. And this is just training. Like,
I probably like the other two better.
okay, no big
Yep,
deal. It's basically learning styles. And I don't ask too much because the one problem I have with contractors when we're asking about like what they want, I want to represent your brand exactly as it's meant to be represented, right?
sure.
And that's what this is going through and building that brand. So as we're speaking about that, like if I got started as a contractor today, how do I find out which states you're available in? Do I have to reach out? Do you have a list somewhere?
We are available in all states and all trades. So it's actually a pretty easy and so yeah, you just simply just become a good contractor from our homepage and go through the
And for me, what I would be doing is taking that badge that you guys have here. This would be my number one thing. If I got this, guys, if anyone's doing this for 250 bucks, the very first thing I would do and not miss a simple heartbeat would be grab this, post it on all my stuff because it differentiates something that does people don't have. You can have BBB, a lot of people do. You can have some of the other ones. Now, not to say this might not be on other people too, but it's going to be a smaller amount of people. And if you position it
yeah.
properly and you write a blog about it and you share information about it, what's going to happen is it's going to create more and more value. It's only as valuable as people what you build into it, and you want to build more into it. And the more you build into it, the more traction it gets. And then it's going to help not only you, but other members and vice versa. If all the members start coordinating, it's going to create value. Like, hey, look for the good contractors, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what you want.
Yeah, yeah. I think still the first two. I chose the cartoon one and the original just because you said I had to grab three, but
We can in the end change that. It's no big deal.
yeah.
Here's a remember that how to choose the right remodeling contractor. Is that what it shows on yours? Yeah, how to choose the right
Hmm.
remodeling contractor. So this is you, and I don't know what it took to develop this article or whatever, right? This
Hmm.
is me, and this is your article. This is not going to show. This is your SEO information. This is your
Right.
schema. This is what's telling ChatGPT and Google and everything what it needs to hear.
Yep.
Because a lot of people write blogs and they think, oh, yeah, I'm done. It's like, no, yeah, but no. This is your article, how to choose the right contractor. Here's phase one, budget, hiring your style, research phase, 3 Google results, insider credentials, vetting. You can read through this and edit it, but for
Yeah.
the most part, I'm going to tell you it's pretty damn good when it's done. Here's a $25,000 guarantee. We're bringing that in. A step further would be our $25,000 guarantee. We're looking for what's tracking in Google and ChatGPT and Perplexity and whatever else, and we're saying, hey, fit this into, before it was keywords, if you remember that, it was always like roofing consultant,
Right.
roofing
Now it's
consultant,
more long
right?
form.
ChatGPT wants to read a conversation. The
Yeah.
more you help ChatGPT with giving it conversation, it's going to like you better.
Yeah, we've actually
And
noticed that with the Good Contractors List is when people use long form search in AI, like, uh, I'm looking for a local roofer that presents the least amount of risk to me and has been in business at least.
imagine if you flooded the market with more information, right? Now, again, you could use this even if you're a bad person, I suppose. But the idea is like if you're putting out positive content, because things catch up. But if you're putting out positive content, you're getting tracked more. This article took us only a few seconds, right? Now I
Right.
go back and we wrote another one, which what happens to if somebody goes to you. So we opened this article up, and this is a good contractor list, what to do, right?
Yeah.
Right. You just hit edit, you regenerate. You could edit the entire article. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Here's your schema again. Here's everything. And the coolest part when you're hooked up with our system is like we're not connected on your website right now, but it's phase one, phase two. You can see it's very detailed. Look, people, some people will read this. I've had customers regurgitate it back to me, like exactly what said. And some people just use this to find you. But like
Right.
if I wanted to publish this, I hit publish now, and we're not connected to your website, but I would hit publish on WordPress or Go High Level or Bums AI, and you're
Yeah.
live like now, right?
Yep.
And you're live. So what you're doing is you're tracking for what you need to. So it's
Mhm.
something that we're trying to do. And my goal for helping you guys, obviously, I want to do this interview and tell people about your brand. I also want to tell you about, hey, get your message out there more because I caught you somehow, like you showed up on my wall, right? And that's great.
Right.
So someone's doing something right. But I also talked to other people that are like, what is that list? Because you have that name that's easy to catch, but it's also generic. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. But getting out articles like this and having it posted right away helps you. And we're working on our social media here. But another thing you're able to do as well, you can go in, man, and I don't know, what's a new market you're trying to break into?
Or is this going to be published?
It doesn't have to be, but let's pick a market that could be published. Give me a generic market, just some town that you know.
Chicago.
Chicago, Illinois, right? Oops, I can't spell Illinois. And I go in here and I say what we're trying to do, and I want to create a remodeling page or whatever for them. I put
Yep.
in my phone number. I don't have it right now, so I'm just going to just put in. And when I go here, it's going to start loading some suggestions because I grew up in Chicago my whole life. So that's where my kids are. My kids went to DePaul. I'm very familiar with Chicago, but like if I don't know Chicago, but I can tell you what, I don't know all the zip codes in Chicago at all. So here, it's suggesting me keywords to add in so I don't have to know the town. It's letting me know what I do. Now, if I was being more careful, I'd probably look at each one, but I'm okay with it. I hit next. I could put in my calendar. I put in my hours of operation. I could put in my Google list, my certifications, my insurance types, etc., whatever we are, and then I just say generate page. Just like the blog was done, I'm going to create a local page for you that you can create. So every city you're trying to attack, good contractor page for Chicago, Downers Grove, Barrington, Schaumburg, Palatine, Rolling Meadows. You can kick out pages in about 2-3 minutes. These don't instant publish yet. These do have require a teeny bit of legwork versus the
Hmm.
blogs are instant publish. Like these blogs are just press a button, you're done, right?
Right.
While we're working on that, we have this guy here. Here's our final little, oh, maybe not final, but I don't know if you like that or not, or you like to stick with the real ones.
Um, yeah, probably the real ones.
Yeah, we do that. And it's just going to learn until we get to 9. It's just learning your subliminal stuff. Once it's
Hmm.
trained, man, your monthly marketing is 20 minutes. So it's kind of cool getting your customers. So a lot of us spend time, like you have an amazing product and you're getting stuff out there for people that they need. But it's also you're running on all sorts of fronts, but you're running on multiple fronts. And for any business, I don't care. I have a person that does piano lessons. I got somebody in there that does dog sitting. So we've done that stuff. Now with your product, getting back on point, what I notice, and I'm going to go through like, if you ever follow Donald Miller, I like to follow his kind of story brand thing and his method. And what I'm going to say is you have two stories going here. So if I may, and this just popped up by the way, just so you see it. This is your $20,000, $25,000 guarantee, good contractor, transformer Chicago home today, and it's got some keywords. These are meant to be what they call money pages or whatever else, microsites. This page is ready to go. You just go here, view deployment instructions, and it's going to tell me everything I need to do to deploy it. It is a little bit more technical than the blog for sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can launch a page every 5 minutes. So you're literally sitting here just, you know,
Well, at least it gives you
like,
steps.
yeah, get your market, and then it still links to your homepage, which is awesome. And we are working on making it a little bit more intelligent with having a little bit more with getting published automatically. There's just some restrictions with that, but no big deal. So me going through the story with you and tell me where I get this right or wrong. The person, the homeowner, who's afraid of getting screwed, basically, to summarize it, afraid of making the wrong selection, afraid of making a poor decision. Because sometimes we make our decision based off of they sound good or they showed up or price. Let's be honest. A lot of people go off
Yeah.
price. So I'm afraid. Now, my problem is that I don't know what to do. Now I come across Good Contractor List, the guide, and the Good Contractor List is telling me, hey guys, if they're on this list, I don't care what their price was, they're probably good, right? And like you said, maybe the sun took over and things went to hell, but that's why you're there. But maybe things are just fine. But right now, I can use you for validation. And what I need to do is talk to my contractor and ask them if they're on the Good Contractor List. I can also ask them to join the list because it would take them, it sounds like
Yeah. That's
72
an
hours or
option, right?
so.
It's an option on the homepage is or to recommend a contractor as well.
Yep. So I
Yeah.
asked them to join because I want the guarantee. So a homeowner can also ask, like, hey, look, I want the guarantee. I'm not doing this job until you
Right.
this. They can either search your website for a Good Contractor List. They can search their contractor for that logo or
Mm-hmm.
that information. They can also submit a contractor to you. So that's their different methods that they can get the Good Contractor List. And if they have this, hopefully they never need it. But if it fails, they have no recourse with the other options. Or like you said, some of the companies only offer deposit theft, not work theft. Without
Right.
getting into it, UB gives you the, I like to call it slander, basically just make you feel like shit until you do something about it, right? Like, hey, you got a bad rating. But I've seen some people, if you know how to respond to those complaints, they kind of go away. Like, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, there's tricks there. I mean, I've seen guys literally go in and get a court order about action
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, you're defaming me, resist TRO. So you get a temporary restraining order, and they could actually just remove Google review just like that. And people take advantage of that, and it's pretty sad. But there's
Mm-hmm.
tricks to get away with it because it's a big operation, and they have their little
Right.
rules. And if you hit the dots, you hit the dots. With you, if I'm going with you, I'm able to successfully see that I have that guarantee, that peace of mind, and I'm going.
So if we get a call from a customer, yeah, I hired this company, they put my roof on, and now my skylight is leaking and I can't get them to call me back, then same situation. We call them, hey, what's going on? You did this job. Your warranty, the customer sent us the contract. It says you have a 5-year workmanship warranty, but she can't get a hold of you. What's going on? So same thing.
Very cool. I'm able to get my warranty. In essence, there's another peace of mind there for me moving forward.
So it's
That
what
I
really
know.
comes down to the homeowner being using due diligence and making sure that everything that they have to feel comfortable not only with the project in front of them, but also going forward when they have to deal with this company is in contract. You know, so if they go, I don't like the fact that your warranty is so ambiguous. It just says 1 year warranty.
Because a homeowner is
Well,
a great value in having this extra insurance or what have you, right? Let
yep.
me ask you a question, and you may or may not have this answer, but I'm just curious. Like, if I use John the contractor and John passes away, wins the lottery, goes away.
Mhm.
Let's make it something nice. He wins the lottery and he's out of here. Or if he wins the lottery, he'll probably still help out. But something happens in my house. John's no longer in business. John's gone.
A commission of the project itself, then yes, we would get involved. John has a untimely pass away, and halfway through your kitchen remodel, then that's his company that's doing that. But
Yep.
if it's a great question that we've never had a claim. I
That
mean,
would be pretty fair.
yeah, and ultimately, I mean, the truth is the guarantee is for a majority of it is to address the concern with the customer, making sure the project itself gets done correctly and they pay the contractor. After that, they feel like they've gotten the value out of the guarantee. I just wanted the contractor to come, do what he said he was going to do, and then I pay him, and then we're all good.
Yep.
So majority of, because like I said, like these are good guys. Like we vet them, so they're going to do the right thing. I know as a contractor myself, I've literally gone into the red trying to make a customer happy because something happened that I couldn't control, but they couldn't control either. And we just made it right because that's what a good contractor does. And
Yep.
so that's going to happen. But
Getting you
I
guys
do only
known.
have about 10 more minutes.
Yep, we'll be
Because,
wrapping up.
yeah.
Getting you guys known locally, what I've done here is
Mhm.
I've got like different things that I looked at, like events to relate you to. Now you're more of a national brand. You're moving from the Dallas market, but it just lets you know what might be relevant to you.
Sure.
And all I do is I hit create all
That,
posts. And
that's
what it's
neat.
going to do now, it's going to build my entire month for me. It's going to write the copy. This happens to be only 3 days. It's going to build the thing, 20, 30 minutes. My entire month is done. After it's done, I go into batch, I hit full month and I sync it to my platform. And so going back to real quick, also, we showed you the local page already. So that's already there. So we're good there. So as I was running through that story, I want to run through the story the opposite way, which is the contractor. So if I'm a contractor that's trying to win a job and I have to
Hmm.
differentiate myself, and I'm not going to go in a price war. I want to set myself as the guy. I'm not saying go, you're $80,000 more, but I want to charge a fair rate. That's why a lot of people go fail. I can present that I am able to offer something another contractor can't.
That's right.
And you have this $25,000 warranty that you have. And if my job happens to be around 20,000, that's amazing.
Hmm.
And then I go to the good contractor, I get qualified, I go through whatever, I go through the screening, and then you allow me to have that information, you allow me to set it up, and obviously it's on me to go utilize it.
Hmm.
But I see you guys posting more and more about how to use it, but that's going to help. And then at that point now, if I don't have this, I'm going to lose jobs because there's no real comparison to me. It's just price wars. Me
Hmm.
differentiating is going to make a price war. I did a blog from the company that I'm doing permanent lights with that we're doing right now. And I'm helping them launch this permanent light company. And I had a $9,100 bid. I went out myself. I bid it for 9,100. She had a $5,400 estimate. You know how that estimate sneaks out right after you give them yours? It's like, oh, yeah, I got 5,400. And she was using trim light or something. And I looked at it and I said, okay. And I had to position myself. People get stuck with price wars. And I was like, what
Hmm.
do I have to offer? And I didn't have this. I would have loved to have this. But what I did have was, hey, we're a permanent lighting company, but we are also a roofing company, which she had a clay barrel roof, 60 squares. I was like, man, do you really want a guy who spent $500 to become an authorized dealer to climb your roof? I mean, if I slide on that roof, that's a lot more damage than your 5 grand. I'm a roofing contractor. I'm going to make sure it's good. I want that roofing account in the future, which means I'm not leaving. I got a 60 square roof under my belt. So I positioned it and I lowered the 91 to 86.50 or something. And she said, yeah.
Position yourself as we also offer financing. So now maybe the price is higher, but the monthly is lower, and the other guy's only taking, doesn't offer
Yep.
financing, so you have to pay cash. So now you're technically the better value for the homeowner in their current need. So yeah,
So
to present value.
so for people to get in with you, go to the Good Contractor website, which is the Good Contractors with S guys list.
There's no application fee. There's an onboarding fee once. So we charge $500 for the onboarding fee, which covers the background check and all of the digital marketing and physical marketing, collateral that you
Yep.
get.
It's
And
nothing. I can go in and verify a contractor, put in their name,
yep,
search for it. If I don't find it, I can actually refer them. It looked like somewhere.
that's correct.
It looked like I can go in and
It's
learn
right
more.
there. Yep,
Where is it?
refer a contractor. I believe it's in that drop down menu where it says become a contractor.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Yep,
it was right
yeah,
there.
it was
I
one
just
of the
keep clicking
options.
everywhere.
Yep,
Yep. There you go.
yep,
Refer a contract. So I can do that
yep.
as well, which is great.
Hmm.
And awesome. And then you guys have some blogs up there and some information. I love it. Anything else like for contractors? What's your kind of final takeaway? Final, what you got?
Hey, listen, if you're tired of just the same old having the conversation with customers and saying the same old thing and sound like every other contractor, not being able to differentiate yourself, then with the Good Contractors List, you have the ability to differentiate yourself, give the customer a peace of mind, knowing that this job is covered by somebody else's third party cash, and that will help you close more business. And like I said, the old, what was that suit guy where I'm not just the bank president, I'm also a customer.
I
I'm
think that
that
was
guy.
the Hair Club for Men, wasn't it?
There,
Like,
that maybe that's
well,
what it was. Yeah.
that's where it
So
started, and then it went for everywhere else. But
yeah,
that's
so
the one surgery I will have in my life if I ever need to. I always say.
that's kind of our situation is I was the contract, and so when I had the opportunity to come on and help take it nationwide, it was a no-brainer. I didn't need a sixth job. My companies are doing just fine, but it's a movement.
No, I love it. I think it's a great thing. I think people need to know about it. That's why I wanted to bring you on, showcase the tool. So here's the day, for example, it's unique Facebook page, unique Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Google My Business, Pinterest, YouTube. It goes to Threads, Blue Sky. So it's a unique post for each one,
That's
optimized,
awesome.
and it times everything for you. And it's going to go through and just build out the month. Like it's going to go through and build the month out.
Yeah.
Like this one just popped up. It's going
Well,
to continue. I love it.
another one of the things I want to point out to the contractors considering the Good Contractors List is we don't only offer the $25,000 guarantee. We also partner with organizations that bring value to help the companies grow. So if you're a great painter but you suck at bookkeeping, or you don't have a good marketing solution, or you don't have a good SEO solution, then we have a back end. We call it the contractor portal, where they can go in and based on their trade, we've partnered with organizations to provide those services
Oh,
to
very
them.
cool.
And because they are a member of the Good Contractors List, they get a better rate than they would have if they would have just found those companies directly. That's what we negotiate. It's not a pay to play for that. We don't
Yep.
take any money
So you
from those
said
partners.
250 a month. I wanna throw my name in the hat, and you can let me know if it's good or not. But I will say with the UGO tool that I just showed you, anyone in the next, this is February, so anyone who gets their application to, well, I guess depending on when I post. So let's just say anyone who gets this in before March 15th. Actually, I'll do this forever. Screw it. Anyone who signs up with a good contractor, their first month, the 30 days of posting, their first month, 3 blogs, 3 local pages, my team will do for you at no cost. That's a $99 service anyways. It's not a big deal because you do it yourself, but I'll have my team actually handle it for you. If you want to continue, it'll be 99 bucks from there forward. But anyone who does it, that's 99 of your 250 back, guys. And I think, and then before you do it though, I want the seal so I can add the seal. I'm going to call Randy and be like, can I put the seal on this brand? Because every post is going to have that seal. I'm going to help you take that good contractor and make it mean something. So those blogs, we're going to choose around the good contractor. We're going to choose those local pages around the good contractor. And we're going to choose that on every one of our posts, getting you out there, getting it known. So I'm going to help you jumpstart that. And that'll be through UGO. So
Yeah,
full
and we
month
would love to
of
partner. We would definitely love to partner with Hugo to make them one of the resources in the back end that our contractors benefit from.
cool. All right, guys, to get a hold, get on the goodcontractorslist.com. I think it's an amazing product. I love it. I love the fact that I'm not paying per job. I love the fact that I'm not paying a percentage because I think contractors are getting killed. Like you give percentages to supplement companies. We have a boss of Bridges. We don't charge percentages. You're giving percentages to lead companies. You're giving
Mhm.
percentages to warranty companies. What the hell is left? Like stop selling on percentage. Like it's a bad business model, people. Like just bad. Nobody sells percentages. Just get a fixed price and be done with it. So I love it. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, and we'll look forward to getting back in touch with everyone. Anyone have comments, please post. All
Well,
right.
thanks for having me on, and have a blessed day.